The woman sitting on the curb was worth 900 million, but she couldn't remember her own name. 40-year-old Kevin Adams, a single dad and janitor, had $3 to his name and only a few hours before he had to relieve the sitter watching his daughter, Lily. Her coat sat wrong on her shoulders like a borrowed future. His pockets held lint, 3 bills, and the weight of a promise to be home soon. Between them, traffic hissed past indifferently. Buddy, the scruffy mutt pressed against Kevin's calf, wagged his tail, sensing his owner's weariness after a long shift. 2 strangers, 2 opposite destinies, stalled under a blinking streetlight, each missing something irreplaceable. One had lost her memory. The other had lost everything except his daughter and his integrity. Kevin didn't mean to stop. A janitor's salary teaches forward motion, and babysitters charge by the hour whether you arrive or not. But Buddy halted, ears up, as if a quiet whistle only dogs hear had stitched the woman to the pavement. Kevin crouched a few feet away, palms visible from years of making himself non-threatening. You okay? Her eyes focused and unfocused like windows fogging, then clearing. She touched the edge of her purse, then her temple, searching for a word that wouldn't come. Around them, the city flowed like water around a stone. Buddy scooted closer, chin on her shoe, breathing empathy. Can you tell me your name? Kevin asked. Her mouth opened, stayed empty, closed again. No alcohol, no slur, just a frightened vacancy. Like a light switched on in the wrong room, Kevin glanced at the street, calculating options. He'd learned that official help often came with questions a man in a worn-out work coat couldn't easily answer. I'm Kevin, he tried. This is Buddy. We won't hurt you. She blinked at the dog's wagging tail, and something in her expression softened, as if kindness had a smell she recognized. Water, he offered from the battered bottle he refilled at the start of every shift. Her nod was small, grateful. He eased beside her under the streetlight's hum and passed it carefully. She drank like memory might be floating on the surface. Where were you going? He asked. Her gaze drifted across storefronts as if one might call her home. No answer. Buddy gave a single bark, polite, insistent. Kevin heard the message he always did, don't leave her. He took off his threadbare jacket and draped it over her shoulders, shivering as the cold bit him. We'll figure it out, he said, mostly to Buddy, partly to himself, entirely to her trembling hands. For a single dad with $3, time was costly. But tonight, guarding someone invisible felt more important than rushing home. Dawn seeped behind buildings, grey and patient. She woke with a start, then relaxed at the sight of Buddy's ridiculous grin. Morning, Kevin said softly. Still foggy, she searched his face, then nodded, apologetic for something not her fault. Okay, he breathed, standing. Breakfast. Then thinking, he led them to a diner where the owner knew him as the janitor from the building down the street. Anything left? Kevin asked, gesturing to the woman. The man studied her, weighed something private, then slid plates across the counter like coins, eggs, toast, 2 coffees, and a water bowl. Sit, he grunted. Buddy's tail thumped the floor gratefully. She ate carefully, as if food were a test. Sips of coffee woke something behind her eyes. You're safe, Kevin said. With us. A laugh, brief and surprised, escaped her. It startled them both. Kevin grinned. There you are, he said. The laugh didn't return, but its echo stayed. Outside, the morning rushed harder. Hospital? She flinched, shaking her head. Police? She pressed her lips together, fear flashing. Okay, he said. Libraries had given him warmth and quiet corners to help Lily with her homework. He bought a day-old muffin with 2 of his dollars, tucked the last one deep, and led them toward the glass doors that always held heat and mercy. They found a table near a tired plant. Kevin asked the librarian for help, explaining his companion was disoriented. A patient woman showed him maps, a city directory, and a computer. The woman paged through a glossy architecture book, pausing at a mansion with white columns. Her breath changed, quicker, lighter. She tapped the photo. Home, Kevin ventured. She nodded once, eyes filling. Kevin searched public records for estates with columns. Nothing landed. The woman traced the photo's edges, the way lost people trace routes back to themselves. We'll keep trying, Kevin promised. They walked outside for air, letting memory hunt without pressure. The woman paused at a florist's window where Lily stood like careful punctuation. At a corner, a black SUV slowed, the driver's gaze lingering. Kevin's neck prickled. He shifted, an instinct as old as the first time he'd taught his daughter to look both ways before crossing. Keep walking, he said cheerfully, a tone he used with Lily when he didn't want her to worry. Back at a bus stop, she opened her purse. Inside, lipstick, a small notebook, a pen, and a key fob. The notebook held only a line about a lily. On the back cover, embossed so softly you could miss it, a monogram curled AMW. Initials, Kevin murmured. We're getting warmer. They returned to the library. On the public computer, Kevin searched donors, foundations, and names with those letters. An article bloomed, Whitlow Foundation announces citywide literacy grant. The photo showed a woman at a podium, Lily's behind her. The caption read, Amelia M. Whitlow, CEO of Whitlow Holdings. Her net worth, $900 million, punched through him like a cold wind. He looked at her, then the screen. A janitor staring at a forgotten queen. Amelia, he tried gently. The name hovered between them. Her breath hitched. Recognition and fear arrived together. He closed the tab halfway, blocking the number, leaving only her face. A name is a beginning, not a cage, he said. The librarian offered a private study room. Kevin read her the softest parts of the article, books donated, scholarships granted. With each detail, her shoulders relaxed. What now? The obvious choices, hospital, police, looked different when a name like that lit the room. We get you somewhere quiet, he said finally. He thought of the park where an older groundskeeper, Clarence, let him and Lily eat their packed lunches in peace. They took side streets. At the park, Clarence lifted a hand. Kev. You bring company or trouble? Both, I think, Kevin answered honestly. Bench 3. Best shade. I saw nothing. They Saturday. The woman, Amelia, closed her eyes, not in fear, but in rest. Kevin borrowed Clarence's flip phone and called the foundation. He left a message for the executive director, Harriet Cole. I'm with someone important. She's safe. Please call back. Dusk threaded gold through the trees. The phone buzzed. This is Harriet, he explained carefully, never saying the curb, only ill confused and safe with me. Where? 20 minutes later, a modest sedan pulled up. A woman stepped out who matched her photo, sensible shoes, eyes that held other people's panic without drowning. Amelia, she murmured. Harriet crouched, tears shining. We've been looking everywhere. She turned to Kevin. Thank you, she said, not as charity, but as a contract. May I contact you tomorrow? Kevin nodded, surprised. One more thing, he said, swallowing his pride. Make sure she's safe. Really safe. I promise, Harriet said. She helped Amelia to the car. The woman looked back once, as if to memorize the janitor and his dog who'd stood guard when her name went missing. Then they were gone. That night, Kevin was late getting home. He paid the sitter his last $1 and checked on Lily, who was sleeping soundly. He ate stale crackers for dinner, the strange fullness in his chest having nothing to do with food. The image of Amelia's eyes, confused yet grateful, stayed with him, a spark in the weary routine of his life. Days passed. Kevin went back to his shifts, mopping floors and emptying trash cans, the night on the curb feeling like a strange dream. Then, one afternoon, as he and Lily were leaving the park with Buddy, the sedan appeared. Harriet stepped out. Kevin, she called gently. She remembers more. She remembers a man who stayed when the world kept walking. She asked for you. The word sank into Kevin like water into parched soil. He had been overlooked by so many. But Amelia remembered. Kevin and Lily followed Harriet to a quiet house on the edge of the city, a private place for Amelia to recover. When Kevin entered, Buddy trotting ahead, Amelia sat by a fireplace. Her eyes lifted, and recognition sparked. "Kevin," she whispered. Buddy rested his head on her lap. She laughed, a sound fragile but real, and then her eyes fell on the small girl hiding behind Kevin's legs. "And who is this?" Amelia asked softly. "This is Lily," Kevin said. Amelia's smile was the most genuine thing he had ever seen. "I remember kindness," she told him. They spoke for hours. He told her about Lily, about the struggle of being a single dad, about how Buddy had kept them both from feeling lonely. Amelia listened as if his story was the most important one in the world. Over the following weeks, Kevin, Lily, and Buddy visited often. Harriet arranged it, seeing how their presence helped Amelia heal. Kevin fixed a squeaky hinge on a cabinet, Lily drew pictures for Amelia's wall, Buddy curled at their feet, a reminder that loyalty needed no explanation. But associates grew worried about Amelia's absence, and one night, Kevin noticed the same black SUV from before, idling across the street. Buddy growled. Without a second thought, Kevin sent Lily inside with Harriet and stood watch in the shadows. He stayed all night, a silent guardian. The next morning, Amelia found him asleep on the porch, his janitor's jacket damp with dew. "You stayed," she said softly. "You'd do the same," he shrugged, but she shook her head. "I'm not sure I would have known how. You chose to stay when you had nothing to gain." As winter crept in, Harriet asked the question they'd all avoided, "What happens now?" Amelia reached for Kevin's hand. "Then I want the world to see the truth," she said firmly. "I wasn't saved by wealth. I was saved by a single dad with $3, a big heart, and a loyal dog. I won't hide that." The world did notice. When Amelia Whitlow finally stood before the cameras, she didn't stand alone. At her side was Kevin, holding his daughter's hand, with Buddy at their feet, tail wagging like a banner. Amelia told her story, not of a business crisis, but of human connection. The crowd shifted, but the truth settled deep. When it was over, Kevin tried to slip away, but Amelia stopped him. "You belong here," she whispered. "With us." For Kevin, the journey from a worn-out mop bucket to this moment was almost too much to grasp. But as Amelia leaned closer, her eyes steady and full of a future he was now a part of, he understood. He had never been just a janitor. Not to her, not to Buddy, and not to his daughter. He was home.